Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Ahsan Iqbal, Dr. Ijaz Shafiq Gilani, Mr. Shamshad Ahmad Khan, I'm personally grateful to you for having accepted our invitation to come and interact with the students at the forum of Center for the Globally Responsible Leaders, briefly what we call CGRL. Today's seminar is the first of a series of activities which our center has planned for developing the next generation of globally responsible leaders. How did this idea of developing globally responsible leaders emerge has a brief history which I would like to share with you, so that we could have a convergence of views on how current leaders, whether in politics or business, could work together towards finding ways to reorient our development model, which is in deep distress. I believe we all sitting here under this roof acknowledge that the problems being faced by Pakistan in particular and the world in general are immense, irrefutable, and global in nature. Economic, political, social, environmental inequalities persist in spite of the massive growth and development, and the gulf is increasing day by day. While no single stakeholder can be blamed for all the ills in the society, one very important stakeholder, the businesses or the corporate sector, holds the key to remedy the wrong and ensure progress in development, and also change in the whole global setup. Businesses create employment, pay wages, and contribute to social security and welfare. Although they can't work in a vacuum, but realizing the force of the economic power, they have today a tremendous opportunity at hand to shape a better world for the existing and future generations. UN Secretary General Kofi Annan at the World Economic Forum at Davos in 1999 announced the Global Compact and officially launched it in 2000. The purpose of the UN Global Compact, which comprises of 10 principles, is to encourage businesses worldwide to adopt sustainable and socially responsible policies. And this they do by aligning their operations and strategies with 10 universally accepted principles in the areas of human rights, labor, the environment, and anti-corruption. It's a leadership initiative, a public-private initiative that involves all relevant stakeholders, or rather the social actors like governments, labor, civil society, academia, and others working at the local and the global level. And these are the critical actors in the advancement of universal values around the 4 areas identified in this compact. 2 years after the launch in 2002, a Brussels-based global organization, European Foundation for Management Development, where Dr. Hassan Sohaib Murad has been very actively engaged in, established a partnership with the UN Global Compact. And this it did, and promoted and motivated other partners to develop the Globally Responsible Leadership Initiative, we call it GRLI, to act as a catalyst for the UN Global Compact. In 2004, GRLI started with a group of 21 pioneering business schools and learning institutions from all parts of the world to promote understanding of what constitutes globally responsible leadership and develop its strategy. It was a novice idea. And there at the screen, you will see all those 21 leading institutions from all over the world in which UMT played a very, very important role. It was a novice idea. Thanks to the acumen of our leader, Dr. Hassan Sohaib Murad, UMT was one of the pioneer institutions to engage itself for a full 1 year to produce a document titled Globally Responsible Leadership, a Call for Engagement. Fortunately, our pro-rector, Dr. Rashid Kausar, and I too attended a couple of its meetings and contributed as a proxy to Dr. Hassan Sohail Murad. Dilating at this report is neither possible nor desired, but suffice to say that it addresses the substantial changes required in the way business schools prepare the next generation of leaders. It identifies not only curriculum issues, but also recognizes that engendering global responsibility within leaders will require embracing three laws. First, the law of environment. Second, or dilating on this law of environment, I would say that the natural world is not a stakeholder in our businesses. It is the ultimate foundation of the rule. And this is a very important element today because we have been using environment as an externality, but today it has to be incorporated into the cost-benefit ratio. Second is the law of interconnectedness. Everything, everywhere is linked in a single system. Therefore, all actions must be considered in the context of their effect on the whole system. And third law is the law of engagement. That is, globally responsible leaders must engage with the consequences of the first two laws just mentioned. The interesting aspect of such an approach is to conceive the necessary transformation as a process and not as a preconceived notion or pre-sold blueprint. The perspective here is to propose a dynamic process of improving and transforming the existing economic model through a dynamic process of listening to others, debating, in-depth analyzing, establishing social partnership, and accepting to learn and change. In a nutshell, what we call in our management jargon, it will be through a global action research that we will discover how to exercise ethical and value-based leadership and pursue economic and societal progress, what we term as sustainable development. It was with this spirit and objective in mind that last year, our dynamic leader, Dr. Hassan Sohail Murad, decided to take another leap forward and announce the launching of Center for the Globally Responsible Leaders, CGRL, what we call in brief. This has been widely acclaimed by the partner organizations and is being viewed as the prospective model project for global leadership development. CGRL is going to be a laboratory where we will be working along with other stakeholders at all organizational levels to prepare leaders who could face four challenges. One, they could think and act in global context. Second, they could broaden their corporate purpose to reflect accountability to society around the globe. Third, they could put ethics at the center of their thoughts, words, and deeds. And last, they could help all business schools and centers for leadership learning transform their business education to give corporate responsibility the centrality it deserves. While we are focusing on building a next generation of business leaders who embed global responsibility into their vision, goals, and practices, we also want to engage other stakeholders like you, sir, to join us in this larger vision of the common good. We at CGRL believe that changes happen first in the hearts and minds of a few. Then sufficient people come on board and develop a critical mass to create the self-propelling force for change. Your presence here today could be instrumental in reaching that critical mass. I thank you again and look forward to your supporting our vision of the world we hope to create. Thank you.